Hey, Rigsters here, back with another Forza Horizon 5 tune request. A 1982 Deloren DMC-12. The only restrictions for this is just to go crazy with it and make it street tune. So, I'm going to do, well, probably something you really shouldn't do very often, if at all. But just for something crazy, I'm going to do an engine swap and put in the 7.4 liter V8 twin turbo and put all-wheel drive on it. It's already at S1 before I even touch anything else. The tires and rims, I'm going to put on, not rally, but semi-slicks. I'm going to definitely increase the front tire diameter from 195 to 255. And the rear, we're going to go all the way to 295. Track width, we're definitely maximizing these out because it makes a lot of power. It's going to need every bit of help we need. And for the rims, well, let's see, how big can you make these rims? Oh, 19s. Yeah, why not? Just do 19s on the front and the back. Oh wait, you could go 21? Oh wow, now we're really talking excessive rim diameter. Yeah, why not? Put on 19s on the front and 21 on the rear. This car is already going to be bonkers. Let's put on a race transmission, 7-speed. Of course, maximum drive line. Let's do race differential. And upgrade the handling. Put on race brakes. Race suspension. And of course, you know, the usual race roll bars. Basically anything that's maximum. Because why not? Let's see what the weight is. Oh wow, it's 3,202 to 2,745. 445 less. Wow. Alright, well, let's try this out. So, originally it has like an inline 6 or inline 4 cylinder Renault engine. It's not very potent for today. It was a show car. Just go from that to 1,750 horsepower. And with that, I'm going to take it to the street marathon circuit, do a quick custom tune before that, and if that doesn't work, I'll modify it again. See you there. I quickly realized I needed to slap on the rear and front Forza wing just so I can actually turn the car, because it goes ridiculously fast. I mean, this is an insanely fast car. Slapping all these down. Is it dumb? Yes. But is it fun? Absolutely. I'll show you the tuning after the race, what I did so far to it. Definitely have to drive it with respect though. This car just accelerates. It's ridiculous. There we go. Oh, jeez. This is a really hard car to control. So, a little bit about the Deloren DMC-12, albeit this is a heavily modified one. In real life, this was a John Deloren idea, that's why it's called Deloren, because it uses his last name. He was quite a maverick back then in the auto design industry, and it was a very popularized car because of the movie Back to the Future with Michael J. Fox and the guy that played as Doc Brown. I mean, this car just looks like a spaceship back in the 80s. This car was like the envy of the car world from a styling standpoint, because you gotta understand, a lot of cars back in the 80s, with some exceptions, didn't really always look that good. And I love the styling of this car immensely, with the cheesy cubic brake looking things. I mean, it just screams 80s. Once I get around this crazy turn, I'll show you the inside. What it looks like right here. This car is such a handful though. Even with downforce. But boy, once you get in a straight line, this thing just takes off faster than 88 miles an hour. A lot of jokes have been made about the whole 88 miles an hour thing from that movie. But this engine, you certainly don't have to worry about never failing to reach 88 miles an hour. It reaches that in first gear. And this is what it looks like zoomed in for YouTube. The reason I say that is because, well, it might be hard to see if I don't zoom in on it. It definitely breaks the tachometer and the speedometer. Oh, man. I also played around with the brake setting on the controller to see if maybe I can get better braking. Certainly can, when you fiddle with the sensitivity of it. I have to brake a lot in this car though. And it's also partly due to the fact that, just for jokes, I made the rims way bigger than they ever were stock. To see if that will help. It kind of does, in some ways. Definitely stop better. I mean, the tires do howl in pain a lot more, but definitely can make the turns much better. So I'm going to keep these windings for the controller. Right now I'm in 11th. Well, I don't expect to win in this car. But the theoretical top speed, this is a minor spoiler, is 245 miles an hour. Mostly due to aero drag. Without the aero drag, as I missed the checkpoint on this uncontrollable mess of a car. This dude is really impractical. It's extremely difficult to drive. Not nuclear friendly at all, in the slightest. But if you want to go ham and have a car that goes really fast in a straight line, this actually probably do really good in drag. Maybe not necessary for street racing. I can't even make that turn. That's with downforce and all-wheel drive. Oh my. This car is such a handful that I can't even really blab much. I mean, I'm just trying to not finish last here if I can help it. I know I'm in last right now. Gee, my knees. I blame my crappy driving as well. It's really hard to control this car though. Come on. This is where I can make up time though, on the straight. With the 7-speed transmission. This car has no problem on the straights though. I mean, I'm just starting to gate on the last place position right now. Going 240 miles an hour. As you can see at the gauge, this is what it looks like. Basically buried that needle. Oh. And of course I bulk into traffic, because why not? This car really picks up and goes after first gear. I mean, it's not necessarily lack of grip. Might be one of the few times I would advise you might want to actually put slicks on this build. Semi-slicks are good for most cars, but this car is making so much power. I'm not even sure I can make this work with semi-slicks. Oh, and I missed the checkpoint. I have to reset the car position. Ay ay ay. It's funny. It's not practical, but this car is funny to drive with such a ridiculous engine. I don't even know how you cram such a massive twin-turbo V8 in this thing. I guess in theory you could, but it definitely won't look like this. This is such a weird car to drive. Oh my goodness. I mean, even if you lightly tap on the gas, it just wants to break traction. Seems anything above 100 miles an hour, forget it. You're not going to get a really tight turning radius. Which you kind of need for S2. Oh, did I miss the check? Yep. I missed the checkpoint, didn't I? And I did. I'm definitely gonna finish last in this one. There's no question about it. I don't even see the bots anymore. Oh well. I mean, it's just what it is. Oh my god. This car is just such an impractical, out-of-control vehicle. This is usually why many people, including myself, say if you do an engine swap, don't do the most extreme one if you want to actually be able to control your said car. Outside of like drag racing and drifting. Occasionally rallying if it's the Turbo 4 rally. That also is a good engine to swap. Oh jeez. And once again I missed the checkpoint. This is a very hard car to drive. It's just absolutely bonkers. There's like no control whatsoever, even with the downforce package you can put on this thing. It definitely needs a lot of tuning work as well. I might be able to tune some of this out with the differential, but I'm not going to put a whole lot of time into this build, because I got a lot of other ideas to do and stuff, but I guess if you really want to go crazy, you can make this work. Yeah, there's nobody behind anymore anyways. Yep, a really bad lap time for us too. Usually want to get 8 in the 8s, or the low 8s, like the Hennessy Venom. Even the Hennessy Venom, which is a very hard car to drive, is more controllable than this thing. And I'd say it a lot, because that's the least controllable supercar most people would launch in the game. Quickly showing the tune here. So this is, I didn't change the tire pressure. I was monkeying with the gears here. I did 226 for the speed, and did 407 for first, and so on. I geared it towards acceleration just a little bit. Alignment, the only thing I messed with was the camber. I reduced the front from 2.0 negative camber front to 1.5. Roll bars I didn't touch. Springs I made the ride height 2.2 inches higher. That originally was at 5.4. Just so it wouldn't bottom out. And dampening I didn't touch. Aero I touched a little bit. I reduced the downforce in the front just a smidge, but I'm going to probably put it back to the default 78. I know that doesn't sound like much, but that makes a big difference with aerodynamic tuning. Brakes I didn't touch. Differential, I made the center balance just like 2% more. I think originally was at 63. I put it 65. I'm going to put it back a little bit more towards the front so it doesn't peel out so much. The acceleration and deceleration are kept as stock as seen on screen here. And I'm going to apply that. And that's pretty much it for the Deloren DMC-12. If you do this tune and setup, it's not controllable. I wouldn't advise doing it outside of just for like drag or just silly stuff. And making the rim sizes excessively large like that can really impair your handling as well. I just did it just because I was curious to see what's what, as I'm holding up traffic here. So, hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for the viewers for suggesting to try just for once in a while a really crazy bonkers tune that has no practicality. So, this is Rigsters Journey, signing off.